Well, welcome. Thanks guys for joining us. And We'll kind of get things kicked off here. I appreciate the people who were able to make it live, and for anyone who wasn't able to make it live, we're going to record this. We'll share it so you're seeing it one way or the other. But let me jump right in and say I'm sharing the screen here with John Cavendish, the founder of Seller Candy. John and I have known each other for quite a while, and I wanted to, share have him share what he knows about this space because it's a very unique and specialized experience. His experience owning and overseeing literally millions in sales on Amazon via his own brands led him to found his full service Amazon agency, and he became a premier Amazon channel management provider for brands to scale fast with a supportive team. His deep understanding of the Amazon seller experience by being one himself led to the development of Seller Candy, which provides expert virtual assistants delivered as a service. And now he's going to dive into all the nitty gritty stuff that he knows that you guys struggle with, sometimes ask me about, that I think is really going to be super beneficial to hear right from the horse's mouth here. So thanks, John, for taking the time to do this.
Hey Matt, yeah, thanks so much for the amazing intro. It feels like you prepared something. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing with your audience, with your clients, what we do. And just what we're going to do today is actually share how we do things. So we can give you a step-by-step guide of how to get things done with seller support. And yeah, if you're not an Amazon seller, to be honest, you probably don't want to be here. This is for Amazon sellers. It's pretty technical, but it's something you're going to want to watch and you're going to want to save and take lots of screenshots um, because it's super valuable stuff. All right, cool. Let's just dive straight into it then. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. So throughout, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or into the Q&A if that's open, but I think the chat is what's open in this presentation. So type them in the chat. I'll either answer them as they go or I'll save it to the end if it's something that should go at the end. All right. So what we're calling this one is Fast Amazon Fixes, how to get your guide to get suspensions, reviews, and flat files done as quickly as humanly possible without getting stuck in Amazon's never-ending cycle and loop. So what we'll be going over today is how to fix three of the most critical problems we commonly work through with Amazon, which is probably 70% of the problems you're going to encounter on a monthly basis. And if you stay to the end, we're actually going to give out all the resources to get this done. So step-by-step guides, SOPs, everything you need to get it done. Quick little bit about Seller Candy. Seller Candy, our belief is that selling on Amazon should never be running in circles around seller support, trying to fix everything and ruining what you actually should be focusing on. Shouldn't be having too much on your plate, so you don't know or have time to train and hire people and actually outsource what you don't want to do. And it shouldn't be about not knowing what to outsource first. So you outsourcing the wrong part of your business so that, because you should be focusing on the right part of your business. We also believe it's not about waking up in the morning and immediately starting to fix random problems that you didn't cause. Grinding 24/7. We're not big about the grind set. And it's not about finding some secret marketing tactic that no one has ever found before so that you can win on the marketplace. It's also not about having some complicated hiring and training process so you can have a huge team, because really you just need a focused team of executors. So, what we can go through today: how to leverage expert assistants to create time and space in your business so you can scale, how to use a team to transition from operator towards owner in your business, and also I'm going to share how you know what to outsource first and how you know what to give your team first. Because one thing a lot of people say to me is, great, I've got a team. How do I manage them? It's my first team. How do I know what to give them and in what order? Cool. So a little bit about me. I do wear suits sometimes. Founded Seller Candy. We've served over 500 clients. Before that, I was a seller and a consultant. And actually, it's nearly 10 years now over on Amazon-related businesses, which seems like a very long time, and it's gone very, very quickly. I also get to speak, go around the world and speak at different things. Because of that, I got to meet my wife, got to do a lot of Tony Robbins stuff, and I got to go around just to share a little bit about myself. So let's get started. All right, step one. What we can go through first, get your pen and paper or your screenshots ready, because we're going to go through pretty quickly the three most common issues, and I'm going to break them down step by step. So, step one is solving seller central issues effectively. So, it's a Monday morning. You wake up, you take out your phone while you're half asleep, which you know you shouldn't, and you get a performance notification, and it's a suspended listing. And we all know who's behind suspended listings. It's Dr. Bezos. He's there behind his computer, suspending your listings. I love this picture. It's from The Economist. All right. So this is exactly how agents go about fixing a listing suspension. So first thing you do, you open seller support and you raise a case. So you go into the back end, you raise a case, and you ask them what they believe the issue is. This is a long shot, but actually what you really want is you need that case ID number. So you're also going to note down the case ID number and say, hey, I raised the case, and we're going to use that number later in the process. Second, you're going to raise another case. You're going to go here where it says product and inventory, and you're going to ask them to enable your category listing report. What the category listing report is, it's like a flat file or feed file for all of your listings, which allow you to make edits to suspended listings, which usually, which they will be, even after they're locked and suspended, which you'll be locked out of in your inventory manager. So once you've got the access to the category listing report, you can see it there. It will appear in your inventory report section. So you can just download it and then you've got a feed file. You don't have to make it from scratch. You've got a templated feed file. So once you've done that, we're going to do the initial steps for the first biggest 5 issues that might have caused this. So first one is a product policy complaint, probably one of the most common. And what you need to do here is you need to sanitize your listing. So what that means is to remove all the content, especially all the content that might be causing Amazon's bots or automations to trigger anything in the back end. Love it. We got Jeff said runs new category listing report twice a month. That's great. You have a backup. So you delete the current content from your category listing report to sanitize it. You replace the content with generic terms. So as an explanation and a basic explanation of the product. So that means, okay, this is a green spatula. No claims, no antibacterial, nothing special about it. Like this is the most generic widget you could possibly get. So there's nothing to trigger Amazon's algorithm and Amazon's bots that are scraping your listing continuously. Then you re-upload this as the bulk file. So you've already downloaded it once, you've edited it, you re-upload it, and you note down the bulk upload reference number. So now you've got that case ID number you did originally at the first step. You've got your bulk reference number, which is the second step. And hopefully Amazon has now updated your listing. So if it's number 2, most common one is an authenticity complaint. That's Amazon saying you're selling fake or used sold as new. So if you get an authenticity complaint, you need to prove to Amazon that it's not fake or it's not used sold as new. So you need to locate the invoices for what you sent in. And you've got to mark up these invoices, assuming that somebody who doesn't know what they're doing is trying to review them in 8 seconds and approve it or disapprove it. So probably on your invoices, the product has a slightly different name from the Amazon listing. That might mess them up, or it might be a different quantity. So you need to get your invoice, get your red markup tool, whatever that is, put a box around it, put an arrow pointing to it, and explain what the differences are, so that somebody who doesn't know what they're doing or doing it very quickly can go, okay, this is what this matches up here. This is authentic. You then upload these invoices to Amazon so they can see the source of the products. And that should be it. All right. Number 3, we're going through these at 100 miles an hour. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask. Eventually, I have to drink water. I drank coffee and now my mouth is all dried up. So, IP violation. So, when you get an IP violation, you get an email from the brand owner. In this email, there is an email address. So, they give you a notification email. They tell you what you did, that you violated IP. So, you need to email that address and ask for clarification. I don't know who else out there has had an IP violation before, but when you have one, a lot of times people don't respond when you email this email address saying, what have I done wrong? How can I make it better? Well, that's why you need to track all correspondence. So every time you send an email, send a screenshot. If you get a response, also screenshot that. But a lot of the time you won't get responses. And if the brand owner does not respond after 5 attempts of you contacting them, that's when you can raise a case to Amazon and use this evidence as tracking that for them to remove the violation. Because if you were really making a violation and it wasn't not goodwill, or you weren't trying to do something to affect your competitors, then you should respond to this email because they just sent a notification from this email.
How many, sorry,
Right.
how much time do you leave between attempts? Is it one per day so that it's 5 days, or can you send 5 emails in 24 hours? Does that count as 5 attempts?
It's a good question. Um, I think one a day at max. Amazon's probably going to say you just bombarded them. But yeah, this to be honest, this one is one of the slowest ones to do because you have to wait in between each email. The other ones that we're doing in this process, the process we're sharing really accelerates it a lot more quickly. But yeah, very good question. All right, number 4, product safety issues. So if you've got a product safety issue, you need to prepare a plan of action. So you review the issue raised by Amazon. I know a lot of the times you won't agree with this issue, but you need to review it. And then you need to create a plan of action to address the points. Even if you think Amazon is talking out of whatever hole and doesn't make any sense, and that, if they'd read it themselves, they'd be like, this can't be humanly possible. Doesn't matter. Amazon just needs this to file and put on their system. As I often say to my team, you can either be right, or you can be rich, or you can make money. Let's all make money and follow Amazon's process and just get things removed as quickly as possible. So when you create this plan of action, you accept the issue. Oh, yes, I'm very sorry for whatever that is. If it's used, sold as new, and someone at Amazon resold one of your returns, even if you told them not to, I'm sorry that you sold my return. I'm sorry that a return got resold. The steps I've taken immediately is to, in this case, request a bin check, request Amazon to check everything. In the future, I will make sure that the box is unticked that you can't resell my returns. Something very, very simple, but the one, two, three, try not to be too sarcastic like me, and make sure Amazon accepts it, and that should be fine. You then upload this as a response to the case, and then just work your way through. Simple. All right, and number 5 of 5 is a hazmat. So, hazmat sucks when you get it because it means that Amazon's flagged it to not be able to keep in their standard FBA warehouse. And if so, it's going to affect your storage, it's going to affect other parts about your account. So, you should know, hopefully, if your product is hazmat or not. So, hazardous materials. If it is hazmat, you should have a safety data sheet from your supplier or from testing you've done. If not, if you have a hazardous product and don't have one, make sure you contact your supplier immediately and get that sorted out. If it's not applicable, then you need to get a safety data SDS safety data sheet exemption sheet from Amazon. So you go into seller support, get the search bar at the top, type in SDS exemption in the search bar, get the one for your category because it's very specific, and then fill it in and upload it in a case, in the case that Amazon sent you, to get Amazon to remove the hold from your account. Sorry, I just saw a question pop up. At the end of the segment, can you discuss compliance document suspensions? Good idea. Good question. Yes. So compliance document, what specifically, Jeff? If you could share a specific scenario, then I should be able to dive into it. I'll do that after the next bit if you could share a scenario. So what if this doesn't work? So if Amazon confirms the listing is compliant, but nothing's happened, which is probably what happens most of the time, then you need to do a delete relist on your listing. What this means is you have to delete the listing, wait 24 hours, and then get Amazon to re-upload. Sorry, then you re-upload it to the Amazon platform. The first time you do this, a lot of our clients are going, am I going to lose 3 years of work, 2,000 reviews, all the stuff I've put in because it's scary? But what I will say is when you delete it, you're not going to lose anything. Amazon, once you've created the listing, it's not held in your account, it's held in their central catalog. So you can delete it from your local account. It'll stay in the central catalog. You re-add it again, connect it to your inventory, and then you'll be fine. And this is a way of Amazon kind of resetting their system. But yeah, you do not need to worry. You will not lose everything and have to be, eating on the street. So if you're still having issues, this is when the real time investment comes in and you have to call Amazon. But you have an advantage because you followed this process. So you're going to call him up, pick up the phone. It's going to be Jeff. He's going to say, like, number one, what we're going to do is we need to raise a case and see what's going on. And you go, oh, I raised a case. I did that in step one. Here's the case ID number. So they'll type it in, they'll find your case. They'll say, okay, well, I'm going to try doing a bulk upload for you. I'm going to try uploading it through Amazon's flat file, I'm updating it through Amazon's flat file system. And you'll go, oh, no need. I already did that. That was in step two, and I've got this bulk upload number. So they type that in. Like, okay, well, step three, I think you need to delete and relist it. We'll give us 24 hours and we'll see if it comes back. And you go, oh, I already did that. Here's the time I did it. I re-uploaded it, didn't work. And they go, oh, well, this is the stuff they would have usually kicked back and forth with you for 2 weeks on through support cases. They go, okay, well, we'll have to raise you to the support team and get your listing refreshed. So that's the point. You need to stay on the phone until they escalate you because you've done everything they're going to tell you to do. So you've massively accelerated this process. So you can do it in a couple of days or even a day, depending on how quick it is, rather than going back and forth with support, or they tell you to do these steps that you've just done for yourself. So there wasn't a magic pill. We didn't slip any $20 bills, $100 bills anywhere. And the goal is if we can tell them exactly how to solve the issue, then they can follow our process as opposed to us having to follow their very, very slow process. So a quick breakdown of the process is to download Amazon's flat file for your listing, make edits and create a clean version. You can delete the listing, wait 24 hours, and then you call until it gets done, which is how we do it at Seller Candy. Jeff, I see you got another question. I'm going to answer it now because it's actually probably poignant to where we are. Amazon asked us for documents regarding medical devices and FDA when the product is a headphone. There are no medical claims in the listing. They said we need it anyway to unsuspend the listing. Amazon has done this several times. Yes. So I would follow the process that we just outlined for the number one suspended listing to get it back. Because maybe there's a keyword somewhere in there in the back or in the listing that Amazon's bot is flagging as medical devices. And then once you're there, it's the phone. Spend enough time on the phone that they will escalate you to someone who can actually do something. But yeah, that really sucks. I mean, medical devices, I don't know which keywords it will be, but there will be a list of keywords somewhere that you can see to see if your listing contains any of those because Amazon's bots just do it. You can chat. We find that phone is better because in chat they can string you along. On the phone, they have very specific metrics to close that phone call as soon as humanly possible, or it affects their performance. And as they say, what's it, Warren Buffett? Show me the incentive and I'll show you the behavior. Yeah, everything is time based, so that's why they want to close you continuously all the time. So, yeah, feel free to follow up, Jeff, and we can, or if you want to email me at the end, I'm more than happy to help. So, we're flipping the issue resolution process on its head. How about another something else that's probably driving you crazy in your Amazon account? You have an unfair bad review. No one's ever got one of those. I know I have never. And we know who's rejecting all your hard work on the other end of Amazon. It's back. It's Dr. Bezos again. So, this is exactly how our agents go about removing bad reviews from the Amazon platform. So, just to cover it in case, so we get everyone up to the same level to start with, there are two types of ways buyers leave reviews and feedback. One is feedback on the seller account. So, this is how you're treating your customers, how your shipping is, how you're handling the back end. And then there's product reviews, which can be seen on the product detail page. So to remove seller feedback, you log into seller support, you go to performance feedback, and you can see here on the right-hand side, next to the one-star feedback, there's a request removal button. If you're doing fulfillment by Amazon using Amazon's warehouse, then pretty much anything that is to do with the product being moved, shipping, anything like that, shipping times, is nothing to do with you as the seller. So you can actually request that gets removed. The only stuff actually relating to you if you're using FBA is the way you respond to customer messages. So unless they say these guys are slow and rude, then there's nothing really that can stick to your account. It used to be when you requested removal that pretty much everything would get removed automatically, but it doesn't happen anymore. So if Amazon refuses to remove the feedback, which happens in like 40% of the time now, you have to either transfer it to your assistant so that they can carry on following up and keep that case open until Amazon removes it, but just don't let it close. So, either to give it to your assistant or do it yourself if you're your own assistant, and keep it open until Amazon removes the feedback because it affects your account metrics, and it's just nice to have a clean account with a very high feedback score. Okay. Also, to remove a product review, here's the process. So, there are a few ways to do it. People get stuck with product reviews. So you can see here on the right-hand side, there's a report abuse button. If it's right next to was this helpful to you? When you report abuse, you have to write a clear reason why it was inappropriate, and you have to stick to Amazon's guidelines. If you don't stick to Amazon's guidelines, this is what Amazon starts to call fraud. So you need to be very clear and say, okay, it violates the guidelines because it wasn't related to this product. It was offensive, whatever is violates that guideline. So you have to click the guidelines and review them and check if it violates. You can then report as inappropriate to report that review. This one's a long shot. Second one, you can actually go into your account and create a case about it. So you go to product reviews under contact us. You create a case and you give them the same information, which is on the right-hand side there. You can take a screenshot of that for that information. And then for brand owners, you can find the product. You can actually find it in the brand dashboard. So you can see your one-star review and find the actual product and find the customer information in the brand dashboard and then contact them. And this gives you one chance. You have one email. So make it an amazing email. You can't bribe them to remove the review. You can only offer to solve their problem. And then, after you've had a conversation, after they've responded to you and you've responded back, then you can influence them to remove their review. But please don't ask them to remove or update reviews. Again, Amazon will flag this at some point and it will hurt your account. Okay, that was very fast, wasn't it? So you've told me how to fix some of the hardest to solve issues in my account. But what if I have technical problems during this update? Good question. Everyone gets stuck a lot on technical problems. So you have an error code on your flat files. This is probably the number one way in which our clients get stuck before they come to us. And there are whole businesses out there built on just unsticking you from getting stuck in your feed files and your flat files because Amazon gets you stuck in this continuous error code cycle. So I'm going to share with you the secret sauce of how you do this. And we all know who's behind this. No, I didn't do it this time. All right. So there are 12 types of common error codes on the account. These are the most common ones. So was going to give you a deep, in-depth presentation on this, but actually the easiest way is just you to download the definitions here. And this is actually our SOP. So this is the Seller Candy SOP of how we deal with error codes. So you can say you can see, okay, we get this code. This is the process we follow. So feel free to download it. It's got a guide for each one of those error codes of exactly how to fix it. And this is actually when I got the team just to PDF to PDF our process. Makes things much more quick and easy. So to resolve, you check the attached document, you run through the steps, and then you can finally celebrate that flat files work and they're not driving you absolutely crazy. So, for example, this is the process to get rid of an 8032 error code, and it just takes you through step by step, and then at the end, everything is solved. So, does this help? Don't know if this helps you, Matt, but if you ever have to solve these, you can share them in this presentation.
It helps because we do have clients that, run into these problems, and now I've got a direct place to send them. I can't fix it for you, but this is the way to go and take your best guess at fixing it, or follow the SOPs. I think Jeff had another question too in there about in the comments about something you had touched on.
Can you get a review with only a star rating and no text removed? Seems always like competitor sabotage. Yes, no, you can't get those removed. If you can track the grouping, then there's a possibility. So if you can, I don't know which tool does it these days, but see when the ratings came in. So something that tracks the number of ratings per day. Then you can prove like on this day I had 100 ratings. This doesn't make sense. There was no big uptick in sales, no big uptick in anything else, then yes, this looks like manipulation. Um, but yeah, that's the only thing you can do, to be honest, because ratings without reviews are impossible to follow around. Oh, also, Matt, I'll share it with you later, but there's a link you can share people as well where we have a guide. So we got a guide we put together with everything we've ever, everything of how to follow through the technical process as well. I'll send you the URL later.
Excellent.
Okay, cool. So let's continue. Part two. We've done part one, all the technical stuff. Part two, we're going to tell you a little bit about our ethos of getting expert support without the drama. And then in part three, we'll show you how to actually know what to give to your team. So, our ethos at Seller Candy is assistants must be experts. Same as if you're hiring anyone in your business, if you are more skilled than them in the thing that they're doing, then it becomes very frustrating because you're the one always guiding them. It's good to know how to do everything, but it's great to have experts doing things that they're specifically great at. So before working with us, a lot of our clients go to Upwork, Fiverr, Indeed, or Monster. But what happens when you hire somebody who isn't specifically related to Amazon? You're constantly asked for guidance. Problems don't get solved. You can't trust them with your livelihood, so you check everything they've done and micromanage them, which then in the end just leads to wasted time, money, hiring, and training someone who isn't getting the job done, which is just opportunity cost, like everything else in life. So you need someone who can reliably take care of the busy work so you can focus on growth. These are Amazon's seller support reviews. If you like some reviews, luckily this isn't our Trustpilot. This is Amazon's Trustpilot. But sign up for Ulcers is one of the favorites of our team. So, how can you get a team that you need without hiring a full-timer who knows your business? And how can you access real experts and still have it be affordable? So, what our belief is experience and numbers. You need a larger team that you can pay for access to so you can get it at a rate that you can afford. So rather than having one very expensive person, you get a fraction of a really, really good person. This is good for you because you get access to a team of real experts with a deep understanding of Seller Central. You eliminate the need to source, hire, and train people, which becomes a real suck as these people turn over. And there's no need for oversight. You can trust the work gets done and just give them the outcome you want, as opposed to the process to do it. And it's a totally scalable solution. So as you grow team, you can easily add capacity. And this is actually very valid in Amazon, but it's also valid in finances, bookkeeping. I mean, I think goes across all of our services and different service businesses.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would know that I turned over a bookkeeper at some point in the last few months. So remind me to talk to you about that, actually, Matt. I've probably got someone I can refer you to.
Sounds good.
Okay, so step three, how to know what to give your team or assistant. So this is the final step. How to pinpoint the high impact areas to improve and pick up money you're leaving on the table. Because, you know, when we're operating a business, especially when we usually have a smaller team as an Amazon seller, um, you know, businesses suck you into the biggest problem of the day. And a lot of time we don't but bring ourselves up to that 30,000-foot view to look down and say, oh, these are the bottlenecks, these are the bits that would actually move my business forward more quickly. So we have a process I'm going to share now, which is something we do for clients when we onboard them, but also this is the process we follow. So I'm going to share the process with you of how to identify these things. So you can do it for yourself and figure out from a 30,000-foot view what you should be focusing on your Amazon business. So what's the aim of a gap review? So this is what we call the gap review. So a gap is the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. So what's the aim of a gap review? To evaluate all aspects of your Amazon business and Amazon presence, provide you with logical steps you could take in order to smash your revenue goals and give you a fresh perspective, an unbiased view. And then we have a triage system, which I'll share, which so you know, and it highlights which changes are going to make the biggest impact in the fastest time for the lowest cost. Okay, so When you look at your business, you have a few different verticals you want to be looking at. So everything from the back end of Seller Central, listing errors, marketing, buy box, account health issues, and expansion opportunities. So we kind of split an account into those six verticals. And what you want to do is create a Google Sheet or Excel, give these titles to columns, and basically start noting down everything you find. So the easiest way to do this in our experience is to pick one section and just go through it systematically. You could just browse your account, look for errors. You're going to miss things if you do that. So pick one thing, go through systematically one by one, and just note down anything that you find as a potential problem, error. Um, at this time, I would recommend not getting too depressed because you get end up with a huge spreadsheet full of different things. But more stuff to solve is always good because it means there's lots of opportunities for growth. Once you've done that, you get into impact. So what you're going to do now is you're going to decide how much difference it would make. So you've got your columns. Now you're going to turn it into one big column, and you're going to look at each section from element one, point by point. You need to evaluate what's going on, what's going to make a difference if changed, and how much impact it's going to have. This at the moment, we're just looking at impact. So it could be expensive, could be cheap, doesn't matter. If you change this and if it worked, would it be a 1 out of 10? Not going to make any difference. Why am I even thinking about it? Or a 10 out of 10? This would transform my business and my business would be unrecognizably better if I managed to make this happen. Some of these things could be to, build a warehouse, right? Well, great, might be awesome, but also might be very expensive. So then this takes the stress out of knowing what you should be working on because you've now actually got a list of impact on these different items. All right. 3 is cost time analysis. So you've got your column of items, you've got your column of impact. Now you're going to do your cost time column. So you're going to evaluate the amount of time it's going to take to fix something or improve something. So is it going to be very, very quick, or is it going to take you 10 years and millions of dollars? So you go through the same thing, 1 to 10, whether it's going to be quick or slow, approximate how much it's going to cost to implement that fix, and then check it against impact, because there's no point throwing time and money at something that's going to be either extremely high cost and medium impact, or it's going to take you forever. But the reason here is to help you start to categorize and start to order the items you should be focusing on your account. And this brings us to the final element of priority. So now you have your list. You look at your list and you prioritize what you should be working on right now. You're also going to go through and make a list of a note down which have the biggest impact for the lowest time, cost, and effort. And this is the same process we've used to help consulting clients make profitable decisions for the last 5 years. So you can take it from us. We've obviously got a slightly deeper process, but you can run this process for yourself and use it to figure out what you should be focusing on your business. So when you run it, you get a fresh perspective on where you are right now. You get steps and an order in which you should be focusing on things in your business. And this can make a huge impact on your business if you follow this plan, because you're actually finally doing things in the right order and focusing on the most high impact and cost effective things first, rather than just the next thing on your plate. Because I know we've all been there, focusing on the next thing on our plate. So, and I've gone through pretty quickly this evening for you, this morning where I am. And we've only had 40 minutes. So we've done this a few times before, and we always have like a lot of questions and a lot of people asking for what we do in different scenarios. So rather than me spend a lot of time telling you about Seller Candy and doing some big pitch, what we're doing is actually we're going to offer a personal one-on-one session to review any specific technical question or how this could apply to your business with Kelly on our team. So we've got some time this week, or next week actually. So I'm opening up 12 spots for anyone on this webinar to talk to Seller Candy and see if we can support you with anything that's going on in your Amazon business, whether that's just support you on the call with technical stuff or tell you about the service. So we can talk about technical issue, we can talk about your team, or anything going on in your business, basically. So last time we did this, we dived into the account and we found a listing that had been suppressed for months and cost tens of thousands of dollars to the client we jumped on a call with. And the seller had given up and forgotten they'd given up in the past because they just got stuck in this forever holding pattern. I think another seller, we looked at their inbound shipments and we realized they were missing $7,800 worth of product from their inbound shipments. So we helped them get that back. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like in these calls, we always find something that could add massive value to our client's business. And yeah, you don't even need to be a client if you don't want to. You can just jump on the call with us and see if we can help. We do charge for these. In the past, we used to charge 497, but being that you're on this webinar, you can have one for free on me. I will pay your 497 for you, and you can jump on with Kelly. So there is a URL. I've just put it in the chat. This one is special. Please don't share it. As you can see, it says one time only CapForge on it. So yeah, I'll know if you shared it with someone outside of this call because it has the name in the URL.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want one, link is in the chat. Please don't share it. And we do have a couple of minutes for Q&A if you have any other questions. But yeah, that was my. I know I speak quickly. I'm always afraid of running out of time on these. One time I got cut off at an hour.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of technical info, but I think it gives a good overview of the kinds of things that you guys can help with.
Mm,
And so anybody having an issue, one of these issues or an issue like this now knows that, they can reach out to you. And especially with this generous offer of being able to get a free session where the chances are better than even, you're going to come away with a significant savings or some learning that you're going to be able to put to good use and really benefit from. And it didn't cost you anything. It's a, free test drive of the Seller Candy service with value delivered for no cost, and it's pretty hard to beat.
well, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I mean, what we do in the industry is we help. So, we're not a hard sales organization. We get on calls with people, we see if we're a good fit, and we also, give as much advice and support as we can. So we're there as a resource. So as you said, with any of your clients who come up as well, who have problems, you can always refer them to us. We are there to help and serve.
Yeah, and that's why, I've always liked connecting with you and in our partnership here because we're cut from the same cloth, right? If I can help you, great. And then if you become a customer, also great. If you don't, that's fine, right? I figure I'm a big believer in karma, right? We'll put it out there, we'll help people, and it'll come back to us one way or the other. And there isn't a hard sales pitch and there isn't a big push to get you to sign up today. And there's not the timer in the background. You got 12 minutes left, and then you're out. All right, forget that
Run to the back of
nonsense,
the
right?
room. There's an envelope under your chair.
All that stuff, forget it. Like, we're here for the long haul. We're here to provide value, and that I think our customers and clients appreciate that. And I'm sure your business, like our business, is largely built on word of mouth and
Mm,
referrals and people who are happy with the service telling other people about it. So,
mm.
um, I think we're both coming from the same place in this.
Love it.
Looks like we got some questions in the chat.
I sent the link to the to you and me, not to
Oh,
the
did we
chat. So
get?
I've been having a
Oh, okay.
conversation with them about sending it. Sorry, guys. But the link is now there. If you're watching the replay, the link will be in the email or underneath. I will figure that out. Because it's too longhand. What I'll do actually is I'll share a screenshot of it just in case somehow we don't end up with it there. How do we do that? All right, get ready for the most exciting thing you've seen all day. There we are. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right. If you're watching this and you want it here, hopefully you should be easy to access. If you can't access it, that is the ridiculously long link. Um, but no, that's great. Pause here. Cool. Yes, I mean, just a quick bit about Seller Candy then, I guess, since we're on the call. Um, our ethos at Seller Candy is that the worst part about selling on Amazon is dealing with Amazon. It's the hardest thing, it's frustrating, and trying to get what you want. So our whole mission is that you never need to talk to seller support again. We have a whole team of mostly ex-Amazon seller support agents based in the Philippines. We have our own portal. You go into the portal, you log what you want to happen, and then we do whatever it takes to move heaven and earth to actually make it happen. So we're totally outcome based, and we will never send you a template saying it's done, or we will actually we're an intelligent person on the other end acting on your behalf as opposed to the client's behalf.
No, that's awesome. And I think that's what, people are looking for. They've got enough things to worry about and figure out running the business, finding the products, figuring out the marketing angles and all that stuff to not have to spend time trying to fix these little, but I mean, little in that it doesn't only takes Amazon a second to send you a suspension notice or an IP violation or whatever, but it could take you days, weeks, months, and untold dollars lost
Mm,
dealing with those problems. So that's not how I think most sellers want to spend their time. And if there's a
mm,
solution they can utilize to get those experts on it immediately who will pursue it until it finally gets resolved, I think that's worth a ton. It's the same thing for us, right? People don't want to do bookkeeping. They don't want to deal with QBO. I hear all the time, I hate QuickBooks Online, right? No problem. We'll deal with it. You don't have to. You don't have to learn it. You don't have to sign up for it. You don't have to figure out how it works. We'll do all that for you. And then
mm,
you can focus on the things that only you can do in your business.
mm,
Because I can't come and run your business for you, but I can certainly manage your accounting and bookkeeping, just like you can help them with their suspensions and their flat file errors and everything else. They could do it, but it's much smarter for them to let you take care of it and they can do the things you can't do for them, which is, again, the whole smart use of time
mm.
concept.
Love it. Yeah, I think we're coming towards the end then. I think it's been efficient, sweet. Thanks to everyone that's already booked in a call. I'm sure you'll have a great time with Kelly. If you do get stuck or if you have any questions at any point, you can always email me as well. It's John with an H at sellercandy.com. The H is the third letter, not the last letter. And yeah, and just bad jokes. So yeah, I will see you later, Matt. Thanks for having us and thanks for the partnership. It's been great.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on and sharing all this great info and providing that resource, the SOPs. I really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.